Welcome back everyone! In this video we're making keto pancakes. This recipe has been tested by a group of loyal fans and Patreon members. It's light, fluffy, and tastes like regular whole wheat pancakes. If you would like the written recipe, check out my food social page. The link is below. My recipe testers and I had tested different pans and gadgets and found out the preferred pan for this recipe is using a cast iron pan versus a griddle. Ring molds are helpful to increase height, but are not necessary if you make this version. And of course, don't forget the dash minis. I love the dash mini griddle just as much as the cast iron pan. To a large bowl or measuring cup, add the keto buttermilk. Sprinkle the gelatin powder onto the keto buttermilk and let sit for 5 minutes to bloom. To another large bowl, add in the almond flour, unflavored whey protein isolate, lupin flour, sweetener of choice, but do not use allulose, psyllium husk powder, I'm using 6 grams of Now brand, baking powder, I'm using 3 grams, and baking soda. In another large bowl, crack in 2 large eggs. Remove the chalaze if you're sensitive to egg smell and for smooth whipped egg whites. Chalaze is a structure made up of proteins to help keep the yolk in place and to prevent the yolk from being damaged inside the eggshell. If the egg is fresh, you will be able to see it clearly. It tends to disappear when the egg is not as fresh. The feedback I had received earlier in our testing is that the pancakes tasted a bit eggy. To solve the problem, I included this optional step in removing the chalaze. After this step was included, there were no more complaints about eggy taste or smell. Did removing the chalaze really solve our problem? Please try this recipe and let me know. Using clean hands, carefully separate the yolks from the whites. Add the yolks into the keto buttermilk and gelatin mixture. Next, add in the vanilla extract, followed by the melted butter. Mix all the wet ingredients together. If adding grated butter instead of melted butter, add it to the mixture as the last ingredient. More than half of my testers preferred grated butter, so let me know what you prefer. Using a spoon, scoop all the dry ingredients into a flour sifter or strainer. This is my electric flour sifter and it's the best thing ever. It makes the process fun and my life a lot easier. Whisk the ingredients together until both the wet and dry ingredients are well incorporated. Rest the batter for 20 minutes on the counter. Meanwhile, preheat the griddle, non-stick pan, or cast iron pan. By this time, the egg whites should be at room temperature. Whip the egg whites until frothy using a handheld electric mixer. Sprinkle in the egg white powder and whip until soft peak. I'm using 10 grams here. Switch to a spatula and gently fold in the whipped egg whites to the rest of the ingredients. Add in some butter to the pan and pour about 1/3 cup of batter to the pan. Cook until the bubbles form and the edges are dry. Use the back of the spatula to shape the pancake or push in the edges to build a wall to increase height. You can also use a ring mold. Gently flip the pancakes when it's ready. Cook for another 1 to 2 minutes until golden brown. Please keep in mind that if a substitution is made for the keto buttermilk, results may vary. Buttermilk substitution often includes vinegar or lemon juice with a dairy product without fermentation. Every single recipe tester of mine said that keto buttermilk did make a difference here. Cultures from my keto Greek yogurt recipe can be used to make keto buttermilk. However, probiotic capsules will give you better results. You are welcome to adjust the quantity of the keto buttermilk as desired. This keto pancake batter should be thicker than regular pancake batter. If you're planning to skip the lupin flour in this recipe, use a total of 75 grams of almond flour instead. If you enjoy my recipe creations and would like to support me on Patreon, please check out my Patreon page. See you in the next video!